Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. So some of you are interested in how I am doing in this season, so I'm going to just do an update video on where I am, and some of you may be able to relate as well, because this is a very early part of the journey whereby anything goes and it's kind of fun. You are being limited by what you have as a all the gears that you have to build around it, not necessarily trying to fine-tune the gear, so as to speak, during the end game, but it's a part of the journey whereby you just use whatever that's available to you. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I have today and some of the gear that I have and choices I have. In terms of season journey, is I've completed the Slayer, so now I'm on the champion. A bit of that, then probably the rest of it is Destroyer, Conqueror, and Guardian, which will require the conquest to be done. So that part probably a little bit harder, but we'll see how it goes. The season journey is this is day 3, by the way. I mean, put things in perspective. So now, this season there's a pet. I don't know whether you can see or not, but there's a little guy look like a Groot here. Well, it's a little bit hard to see, but if I do it this way, yep, this is good for you. So once you're done with chapter 4, you get your Groot. All right. So now gear-wise, I mean, nothing fantastic here. Like I said, I mean, it's just using what I have. This season for Necromancer is Inarius, so I've got the whole set of Inarius gear there, and so that itself provide quite a fair bit of flexibility, because you buff the bone armor, and then you got the bone storm as well, or you call it bone armor tornado, that and also they increase the damage by 10,000 %. So that is you can do any build around it as well, so long as I think it's more for a melee build, because in order for the bone storm or bone armor tornado to work, you have to be at the melee range. I don't really have a lot of fantastic gear, so I've got a set of the Joseph Scout Scythe, as well as the Joseph Scout Shield. So together with that, you're kind of like the command kind of like skeleton, in a sense that once the target dies, then it will move on to the next one, so you don't need to keep commanding it. So why do you command a skeleton? Well, I mean, commanding a skeleton will give you kind of increase to the attack speed, as well as kind of damage as well, but it lasts as long as the target stay alive, kind of. So you want to keep doing it, which is take up a lot of essence, or you can use this Joseph Scout Sing and Shield to do it. And also it buff all your minion damage by 400% as well. So I mean, the minion itself doesn't do much, 50% weapon damage per skeleton, 7 of them is 350. So add another kind of 400%, get it a little bit better in terms of the skeleton. You can mix around with the mage as well if you want to. That could be one option. So right now I'm using the Coblons, but you could do mage, you can do devour as well if you so wish to, but then it doesn't quite make sense if you use the bone armor. So that's about it. My amulet is one that when the Land of the Dead expire, you get 50 stacks of the macabre knowledge, which increase the Coblons by up to 200%, I think. Yep. So that, in a sense, you see a thing pop up here, rather interesting. It's not a BIS gear, but it's a gear that I've got. You use what you have. Then I've got one that increased my life per second up to 100%, close enough of my missing life, in a sense. Another one is just to create an kind of area of focus power when I kill a monster, but I don't really get a stand on it most of the time, so it's a little bit of a waste. Well, yeah. So then my belt is something that is unfortunate. Is when I block, dodge, or whatever being hit, cause me to discharge the electricity. Since I'm using a shield, I do have some chance of blocking, but it's not really doing anything much. So the best way is to have the one of the bell. I think it's called deity bell, whereby you get the damage reduction if you curse a target or something like that. So that is kind of nice. Legendary Gem wise, I use the powerful, of course. I think it's very useful until GR 100 plus. I think this is a very, very good kind of legendary gem. Bane of the Trap, of course, because I use Land of Dead, and also last but not least the Simplicity Strength, which increased my damage of my primary skill by a certain percentage, and also heal me for a certain amount of health. So my primary skill is Grim Synth, which doesn't really consume a lot of doesn't consume any resources. So in short, this is a pretty weak kind of power to use. The good thing about it is that it does generate the essence, which I probably don't need right now, but then in a future build that I'm looking for, probably I will use a little bit of essence as well. But more, all in all, it just synergizes with the rest of it a little bit to see. The build I'm having here is basically the bone armor, which is the stun targets, the command skeleton, which would increase the attack speed as well as damage. Blood Rush give me 100% of armor for 2 seconds. Land of the Dead, that just freezes up everything. And then Grim Synth, apply a random kind of a curse. The problem is that without the Tragor fan, which is the weapon, it doesn't really make sense to have this one. I think now that I look into it, yeah, and then last but not the least, the Brittle Touch as well, which is the the Corp Lance, that probably is one of the best lance that we have. So the only thing I'm probably looking through is do I really need this guy here, or can I use one of these heal per hit instead? So I mean, that could be an option as well. Passive Y Final Service is the one that once the character dies, you got to come back to life again for a while. Then consuming a corp has a chance to spawn a health group that's useful because I use the corp lance a lot. Then I've increased the speed of this Grim Synth, which is not really that useful, but I can't struggle to pick anything useful. Last but not least, Blood is Power. So whenever I lose 100% of my maximum life, the ability cooldown reduced by 20%. That will reduce the cooldown of the Land of the Dead. So that is where I am right now. So yes, another thing that is kind of interesting is that cube wise, I've got the damage against the elite by 50%, so I'm rather good against the elites, just that survivability is a little bit of an issue. I've got the Corp Whisperer Pauldron, which increased my Corp Lance damage by 30% for 3 seconds, maximum 20 stacks, so you can go up pretty high, especially when Land of the Dead card pops. Last but not least, I've got just a damage reduction increase for every whatever life I'm missing. So kind of helped me a little bit in terms of the survivability. So yep, so that's it. Now I'm not going to do a high with I've done 49 with my wife, so I'm just going to do maybe a 45, which is already kind of pushing it. But we shall see how it goes.
Are you strong enough to survive the trials?
I'm afraid not. I require a corpse. Not possible. I need a corpse. I'm afraid not. I am injured. Wounds have healed. I require a corpse for that.
So yep, it's a little bit tough. Not totally undoable, but as you can see, it's actually rather tough for me. The good thing about Diablo is that it doesn't really matter what level you are playing. It always pretty much exciting, especially when it comes to all this the thing that I'm having.
I'm afraid not. I require a corpse for that.
Ooh. That was a bit scary. So, survive for another day. Whoa!
Our opponents may be strong, but I will not stand down.
Woo!
I'm afraid not.
Alright, so those are pretty hard earned bubbles.
I'm afraid not.
Next one.
No. I am in
Woo!
That is not possible. I must have a corpse. That is not possible. I have long waited for this knowledge. No.
Alright, so a lot of excitement so far.
Have a corpse. That is not possible. That is not possible. I require a corpse. No.
It's a pretty high concentration. Yeah, but I'm lucky to have a feel like a shrine. Wow.
Give it more time.
Woo.
That is not possible.
Well, the DPS is pretty high. It's just the challenge has always been the survivability so far because my gear is not that fantastic.
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. That needs to recharge.
Well, I don't need these guys actually, but it does give me a powerful buff once I kill off everything. That's the reason why I want to do it. That's all. A bit more. Very exciting. You guys have no idea. Whoa.
I'm afraid not.
Woo.
This world can abide you no longer.
Give it more time. I'm on the mend.
Oh. Okay. This is funny though. I mean, it's only a Greater Rift 45, but it's felt as exciting as like my Greater Rift whatever, like hundreds or whatever when I was doing the Witch Doctor in the last season. So yeah.
I'm afraid not. That is not possible.
I'm trying to get to 100 right now, saving my Land of the Dead. Alright, that's done. Whew. That was super exciting. You know, trying to stay undefeated. That was super exciting. And the fact that I don't have like my only 2 of my gem is on 25, so this didn't exist. So now it is. So now of course it's a lot better. Now that I have this one here, because then I have an aura that reduces the movement speed, and then after that I can, like, you know, kind of like anything that is under the control impairing effect will have 22.5 kind of like damage. So that would help a lot. That would have helped a lot in terms of my survivability. But still, I mean, you know, there's still a lot to work for. It's just that I don't have the gear to support the build right now. I mean, the DPS is pretty good. By the way, this is the Macabre Bread knowledge that will increase my corp lance for those who are interested. So like I said, I mean, you know, this Necromancer right now, the is pretty good in terms of the DPS at my level so far. I mean, I'm just at the very day 3 of my season journey, and I don't play that many hours. But in terms of the I think, well, I mean, you know, at least now I got a hit to close to 200, so that's a milestone where things are. Let's take a look at the loot, and then I'll close off the video in hopefully a more positive note on what I have got. So doesn't seem like I've got a lot of good stuff, so that is well, let's see what I have. Nope, I don't need that, and I don't need that either. You know, funny, because there is a LON kind of buff. If you are using non-set items, then any ancient will get like damage reduction as well as damage increase, but no, not this one, of course not. Nope, not this one either, and certainly not this one. Maybe I give it to my, no, it's not. So that's it. It doesn't really have a lot of exciting stuff, and I'm still trying to get some gear from Cadella. It's just that for my build, I don't think I can have that many options as well. I mean, I'm trying to just improve my shoulder item. Just get an ancient out from it, and but I don't think this time I'm lucky. So, well, that's all. Yet another day trying to farm some gear, trying to, you know, level up my my stuff, and yeah, that's about it. It's still very early in the journey, day 3, but I'm still having a lot of fun so far. Alright, so thanks for tuning in, and I hope you are having fun with your season 17 as well. And as usual, drop me a note below, and I'll talk to you over there. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.